All right, welcome back. We're going to keep going on our factoring foldable today. So again, so far we have done greatest common factor and factor by grouping. So today we're going to look at factoring trinomials when a is 1. And so we know it's a trinomial because there's 3 terms, right? 1, 2, 3 terms. And a, which is the coefficient in front, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe that's better. A is 1. So that's what we're going to focus on today, is just when a is 1. And there's 2 different methods here. One of them, the first method that I'm going to show you is pretty quick. Like if you pick up on it, it allows you to factor very quickly in your head. However, it only works when a is 1. When we go down on our foldable to do when a is not 1, it will not work for that. And so you will have to learn 2 separate methods. Method 2 here takes a little bit longer, but it'll work for both. So if you only want to learn one method, I would go here with method 2 in the reverse box, which we hopefully remember from Algebra 1. Okay, but I'm going to show you method 1 first because it's pretty quick. And then we'll go into method 2. So our first example here, it says, well, let's write the example first, shall we? So my example is x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay, so in this case, my a is 1, right? The number in front of x squared is 1. So that's how I know that I'm using this page of the foldable. My b is 7, and my c is 12. When we're figuring out our a, b, and c, we never include the variable, okay? So a is 1. If you want to write that, you can. I'm just going to write off to the side. A is 1, b is 7, c is 12. Actually, here, let's actually write it on the foldable. So a is 1, b is 7, c is 12. Okay, so it says find 2 numbers that multiply to c. So I want numbers that multiply to 12 in this problem and add to b. So multiply to 12 and add to 7. Most of the time we could do this in our head, right, and just go down the list. But because this is notes, I would like to make a list of all the numbers that multiply to 12. So I have 1 and 12, right, or -1, -12. Those do not add to 7. I have 2 and 6, or -2, -6. Neither one of those add to 7, right? So these are just multiples of 12. Or numbers that multiply to 12, excuse me. Then I have 3 and 4, or -3, -4. And this one right here adds to 7, right? 3 plus 4. So +3, +4. Once I find those, I can just do x plus 3 because it's a +3, and x plus 4 because it's a +4. And that's it. That's my equation factored. And so again, you can do that in your head. You don't have to make a list, right? If I'm like, okay, what are all the numbers that multiply to 12? I go 1 and 12. That's not going to work in any sense. 2 and 6 is not going to add to 7, right? 3 and 4, that will add to 7. Are they both positive, or are they both negative, or is one positive, one negative, right? And in this case, if they're both positive, they will add to +7. So that is one way that you can factor. This is how most people factor in their heads when a is 1. Again, this method will not work when a is not 1. So if I had like a 3x squared here or something, I would not be able to do this method. It's only when a is 1, only when the number in front of the x squared is 1. Okay, so for method 2, right, we multiply our ax squared times c. So we're doing the x and the box. So we're going to review this. We're going to review it again when A is not 1, but for now, okay. So, oh, it's hard to write small. AX squared is what goes up here. AX squared times C. And then BX goes on the bottom. And then AX squared goes here and C goes here. Okay? And then whatever these numbers are, fill in. So let's do an example. X squared minus 3x minus 10. Okay, so I'm going to start with the x. And we multiply ax squared, so in this case 1x squared, times c, so times negative 10, which gets me negative 10x squared. I just multiply these the first and the last term together. And then my bx, which is negative 3x, goes on the bottom. And I'm trying to find two numbers that multiply to the top and add to the bottom. So let's just go down the list here. 1 and 10 in no way is going to add to 3. 2 and 5, I could get to 3 if the 5 was negative and the 2 was positive, right? And negative 5 times 2 is negative 10, and negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. So those are my numbers. Okay, then I can go, once I have those numbers, I'm going to go into the box. My original ax squared, right, which is in this case just x squared. And then negative 10 goes in the C box. And then I'm going to fill it in with negative 5x and 2x. And then from here I say, what is the greatest common factor of this top row? And there's no number that's common, but I do have an x in both. So I'm going to take out an x. And then x times what? So I have this blank spot above, right? X times what gives me x squared, and hopefully we see that it's x. And then here's negative 5x. So x times what gives me negative 5x, and that's negative 5, right? I had negative 5x. I took out the x here on the left, so I was left with negative 5. Here I have 2x. I took out the 2, I took out the x, so I'm left with the 2. And then you always check, is 2 times negative 5 negative 10? And the answer is yes. So now I can write this as x plus 2, x minus 5. And it doesn't matter the order. I could have written x minus 5 first and then x plus 2 second. Same thing up here. I could have written x plus 4 first and then x plus 3 second. So the order on that part does not matter. Okay, so two different methods here. Pick whichever one you like. And that'll be totally fine. And we have some practice on factoring when A is 1. So if you have any questions on that practice or you get stuck or anything, just make sure that you reach out. Factoring is going to be one of the most important skills that we do this year. It's definitely going to be one of the most important skills for you for following years. So we want to make sure that we're actually getting it and putting in the effort and time and stuff like that. So if you need any help or if you need anything, reach out. And I'll see you next time when we talk about when A is not 1.